MyMMANews.com, and I am being joined by none other than Andre Petroski, who got the job done in 1 minute and 16 seconds of the very first round, the shortest bout of Petroski's blossoming pro career, and it happened in the UFC octagon over Nick Maximov just a few days ago. Andre, before we get into it, what's going on, brother? How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Always a pleasure. It's always good to catch up with you. A familiar face, especially from our region. So I love getting a chance to catch up. So as I understand, the car dealership was on the menu today. So what did we go with? The Range Rover, the Bentley? I mean, you're starting to pick it up these days. So what are we rocking?
Yeah, so I just left Apollo car dealership in Sewell, New Jersey, and I'm having a tough time making a decision. Right now, I'm like obsessed with Wranglers
Mhm.
because summer's right around the corner and whatnot. So I'm up in the air right now, but probably end up with a Wrangler.
So it's looking like a Jeep is going to be the final decision.
Yeah,
Are you going to go top off in the summer, going mudding and
of course,
everything?
got to get all the upgrades, get the top off.
I can't wait to see it. So obviously, not disappointed in how quickly you got it done, but you called your shot saying you'd finish him early, even asking for Nick as an opponent, an absolute walk-off home run, in my opinion. How does that feel to basically call all of your shots in one single bout?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just shows what I'm capable of with a full camp, um, and it shows that I can improve on my weaknesses, and I just keep getting better. Like I'm 30 years old, and my game just keeps getting better.
It keeps getting better, man, and I would say and I wanted to ask your personal opinion on this because you're 3-0 in the UFC right now, 3 stoppages. I would think that that silliness of back in the day, the cardio that you've mentioned before, that has to be a thing of the past as far as the naysayer's mind, right? You've proven in your mind, I would think at this point, right?
My mindset is that my conditioning is always a factor, but I'm determined to make. Even though at one point it may have been a weakness, but I'm going to make it my biggest strength for the rest of my career. I'm going to be known as a cardio guy the rest of my career. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to focus on being in the best condition and the best shape at all time.
Has that been like a consistent thing of your life, as maybe taking like a negative, flipping it into the positive?
Yeah, absolutely. Making your weaknesses your strengths.
So current 3-fight win streak, like I said, three finishes in those fights. It's got to feel good to feel, I mean, with a clear confidence booster that you're leveraging weight for a higher ranked opponent. It's right there, man. Any kind of name that you're shooting for next, maybe? You're unscathed at the moment.
Yeah, so originally we wanted Mearshart, someone in that 15 to 25 range.
Mhm.
But he just agreed to fight. I think his name is Bruno Silva.
Mm.
So he's kind of out of that. But we got our eye on Singapore next weekend. So we'll see. There's some 85-pound matchups coming up, and we'll see what happens.
You really love thriving on this traveling, and you'll take short notice fights as long as they're good. What is that, man? I mean, we're not getting any younger. You're 30 years old, and you're just taking these fights as they come to you and dominating. So what's with this? Take it as they come.
I'm always ready. I mean, this is what I love to do. Like this is truly what I love to do. And look, I didn't take any damage. I just did a 2-month training camp where I trained my ass off. I'm in the best shape of my life, and I didn't take any damage. So, I want to utilize that. I want to stay at it. Like it'd be one thing if I needed like a mental break, you know what I mean? If I was exhausted mentally and I needed a break, but that's not the case, man. I feel like when you love this sport, like you just can't get enough of it.
And the avenues are continuing to open up for you. I've seen the commentating gigs, which, by the way, you absolutely are crushing. So kudos to you, getting your time on the mic and utilizing it to the best of your advantage. So, my question is, after fighting, do you see anything that you're going to continue with it in this realm of athletic sports? Right, commentating, coaching, that's going to be a thing of the future.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I thoroughly enjoy commentating. I love watching fights. I've always been a student of the game, and having the best seat in the house and getting paid to add my opinion on the matter is the best of both worlds.
Absolutely. The pre-fight interviews and the post-fight presser, you were wearing the flag and promoting Daniel Gracie, John Marquez fight team. Very proud. Sean Brady, Pat Sabatini. I saw Joey Pfeiffer in your corner. Good to see him back Saturday. Just, you're scratching the surface. I'm just scratching the surface with those names. Can you tell me why you've been making such noise for your team? And do you feel maybe that your team's being overlooked? Is that why you're making so much noise?
Yeah, I mean, we're the only team that's
14 and 0.
14-0 with 9 finishes in the UFC. We got Jeremiah coming up. That's Father's Day weekend in Texas, and he's fighting Court McGee. And then we got Joey coming up in July on the Contender Series against Ozzy Diaz. So, I mean, our team is the best it's ever been. Philly fighting is the best it's ever been, and I just think that my team deserves more recognition.
The team itself, it's been something to, I mean, just being from this region, it's been something special to watch formulate. It's seemingly like a bunch of the best fighters from this region have migrated together and formed this super camp. And can you touch on that and how Daniel Gracie and Marquez fight team has become such a murderous row?
Yeah, I think that Daniel and John and Jonathan, they've always been very good coaches, and they've always had Sean and Jeremiah and Pat. But I think that a big part of they've always been good, but what they did was they stayed open during the whole quarantine. They said that, look, we're not going to close down. We're not going to turn our backs on our guys. We're going to stay here, and we're going to be a safe place for all the fighters. And I think that that's when you saw everyone leaving their gyms and coming to Daniel Gracie. And so now, me and Joey Pfeiffer and a couple other, good big name fighters have switched over, and we found that it's the best team to be a part of.
How has that felt being inside the gym and recognizing that safe haven process? You know what I'm saying? Like you said, it all happened during the pandemic. You guys all migrated together and realizing that you all do have that common ground in a safe haven in Daniel Marquez and Daniel Gracie, John Marquez. I'm sorry. That's got to be an amazing feeling for everybody to migrate there and find that safe haven all at once.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for a while, man, like the whole world was shut down. Like people were like afraid to go out of their houses, and people were so scared to get sick. And like, for us, the gym was like, the only place we could go for a while. So, we went there, and you know, it was that was like our safe haven, and we stayed healthy and we stayed in shape while everyone else was, locked away in their house. You know what I mean? Killing their immune systems.
Living in fear, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
So I love how you phrased you didn't think Maximov would be dumb enough to shoot that early. I watched the James Lynch interview. That was hysterical. But the way you phrased it, I loved it. My question is, once he shot on you and after you hit him, was that the moment in that nod in your confidence level that you felt that you were already breaking him that early in the fight?
So I looked over when he walked in. Like, so we took the shuttle from the hotel. So we weren't on the same bus, but we shuttled over at the same time. And when he walked in, um, like I saw it on his face, man. And then like he just like, and then when he came in the cage, I looked across and I was like, man, this dude don't want to be here, man. He's already broken, and I saw that. And all week I was just thinking to myself, like, just be aware, just be aware. I kept saying to myself, just be aware. He's going to show signs that he's breaking. Like I was ready for a 15-minute war. And I was just thinking the whole time, like, just be aware, just keep looking for those signs because they'll come. Like you'll see when a guy's getting tired and he wants to give up. And it just came a lot quicker than I thought.
I love it. Adding to did you always? I'm gonna go into the post fight now. We're gonna get into some of the serious stuff of fatherhood. Let's say you're always shouting out your daughter Riley and the FaceTime call after the fight during the post fight media. It's clear that your girl has a daddy girl that absolutely adores her. Can you talk about a little bit what fighting before you were a father and now that you are a father, that difference? Can you talk about the brand new appreciation, the drive, maybe force that being a father is now putting you that maybe you didn't have before? What's that transformation process?
Um, so like for me, like I grew up competing since I was 4 years old. So, and I grew up in a fighting, a wrestling household, and there was very few people that in my life that I felt like loved me, like regardless of whether I won or lost. So like it's almost pathetic to say, but like most of my self-esteem my whole life has come from winning and wins and losses. So like when I'm winning, everything's good. I'm the man, blah blah blah. But when you lose, it's like you're a piece of shit. And it sounds dramatic, but Riley was one of the few people that she doesn't give a shit. Like she loves me regardless of whether I win or lose. She doesn't know the difference. As long as I take her outside to play, like she loves me. So that's like something that I feel I was kind of missing that filled that hole in my life.
Does that bring another animal to the cage that wasn't present before?
Yeah, I think so.
So you've mentioned before, I'm not going to go deep down the track, but you've mentioned before you don't have the best track record. I don't either, but we've talked about that before. But obviously, the past is the past, and it can help shape the person that you are today. Obviously, you're on the right side of success at this juncture, and you're making your dream a reality. Can you talk to me about what that means to Andre Petroski that you're making your dreams become your reality?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, first of all, like for the longest time, like even like when I would work, I worked 7 days a week up for that Andre Hall fight. That was like my last fight in Philly. And I remember just like I would just pray and be like, God, like I can't wait for the day um when I don't have to work anymore, when fighting can just pay the bills. And when like now that's the case, for at least I was working I was only working, but I was working like 2 days a week up until about a month and a half ago. So about the last month of this camp, I was able to just literally do nothing but focus on this training. But um, I remember like I remember when I didn't have to work. Like now that I don't have to work anymore, like it's great. You know what I mean? This is I sometimes I forget how much I wanted this.
I love it. So back home with your family now, away from Sin City, what do you do now to celebrate the incredible performance against Nick Maximov?
Just kind of I've been just kind of laying low. Not as crazy as I have in the past, to be honest. Just kind of soaking it all in. Been in the gym, but just lifting a lot. You know what I mean?
Mm.
That's one thing that I really got away from this camp. Obviously, such a focus of this camp was on conditioning and expecting a war. So I was doing so much endurance training for this fight that I got away from the lifting, which is like really like a passion of mine. I love lifting weights, strength training. So it feels good to be back doing that again.
Love it. So I guess you closed the door on this event's Fury Grappling, and you're still holding out hope for Singapore. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, I mean, look, I realize that it's unlikely, but if anything does happen on the Singapore, they know who to call. They know I'm ready. But yeah, unfortunately, Fury Grappling we couldn't make happen. But I'm hoping to get on the next one in August.
Awesome. All right. Well, Dre, it's always a pleasure. I'll let you roll, but sponsors, coaches, social media, final stanza. The floor is yours, brother.
Yeah, I want to make a special shout out to Apollo Auto Sales in Sewell, New Jersey. We're working and they're going to be taking care of me a lot, and I'm looking forward to working with them. They got a lot of it's a used car lot in Sewell, and they got a lot of nice they got a lot of nice Wranglers, that's for sure.
Well, I can't wait to see what you get from Apollo, and I look forward to seeing you mudding this summer. I would like to take a trip out on the tracks with you. We'll see how that goes, though. But Andre, appreciate your time, man, and best of luck going forward. Can't wait to see you back in the cage.
You got it, bud.